This is the first chapter. Okay, session number 1, overview of statistics. Okay, then before starting the subject, we want to study what is the subject. Okay, then what is the statistic? That means overview of the statistic. Okay, then through these sessions, these sessions objectives. Okay, define the statistic and its applications in the major areas. Okay, then you study what is the statistic. Okay, then what are the practical applications? Then introduce important concepts of the statistic. Means statistic related words. Okay, then identify the limitations of the statistic. Okay. These are the learning outcomes. Okay, at the end of these sessions, okay, all of you should be able to describe what is the meaning of the statistic, what are the applications, then to have the proper understanding of the difference between descriptive and the inferential. It means these are the two types of statistics. Okay, then to understand the usefulness of statistics. Okay, then what are the importance of statistics and what are the limitations of the statistics. Okay. Let's move into the session. What is statistics? Essentially, we can say normally in the statistic is a process. Do you know the process? Yes or no? Okay, the process, then there are inputs, then process and output. Okay, in the statistic is a process. Then what are the inputs in the statistic process? Data. Okay, data is the input of the statistic process. Okay, there is a process. Then what is the output? Maybe what? Okay, using the data, then we finally we can get the decision. Okay, we can take the effective decision. Understood? Okay. Then the input and the output is clear. Then the middle part is what? Process. In the process, there are steps. Normally in the process, they are follow the steps. Then these are the 5 steps in the statistic. Okay, what are they? What are they? In the statistic process, okay, statistic process, there are 5 steps. What are they? Collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing, and interpreting. Okay, then through this subject, okay, you want to study about these 5 steps through these different sessions. Okay, understood? Then we can say statistics is the science of connecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing, interpreting of numerical data to make the effective decisions under uncertainty. Okay, so you say in the statistic process, input is a data. Okay, then there are a lot of different types of data. Okay, some data can be measured as numerical using numbers. Okay, then some type of data cannot be measured as numerical. Okay, understood? Then in the statistic process, always we use what kind of data? Numerical data. Numerical means what? This data can be measured as numerical. In all the data we can write using the numbers. Okay, in the statistic process, we do not consider about the qualitative data. Qualitative means cannot be measured as numerical. Understood? Clear? Okay. Then finally, we make the effective decisions under uncertainty. In the statistic process, we cannot make the decisions with 100% sure. Okay. Therefore, we can say make the effective decisions under the uncertainty. Okay, understood? Now clear? Then someone say, what is the statistic? You can say statistic is a process. Okay, then what are the steps in the statistic process? Then these are the 5 steps: collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing, and interpreting. After which kind of data? Numerical data. Then finally, what can we do? Make the effective decisions with uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty word is very important. Understood? Okay, clear? Clear. Then we move into the branches of the statistic. Okay, then statistic is a subject. Okay, statistic is a process. In the statistic, then there are 2 types of statistics. Okay, then what are they? Descriptive and the inferential statistics. Okay, now you know statistic is a process. Then the 5 steps are included in the statistic process. Okay, then we can divide into the statistic into 2 groups. What are they? Descriptive and the inferential. Okay, then descriptive statistic means, you know, we use the numerical data. Okay, then we use the different kind of analytical tools. Okay, different kind of techniques to collect, organizing, analyzing, and presenting and analyzing the data. Okay, then that we call as what? Descriptive statistics. Okay, then using the descriptive statistics, we do not take the decision. Okay, then only we can do we use different kind of tools and techniques: collecting, organizing, presenting, and analyzing. Okay, then simply we can say that's the basic thing included in the descriptive statistics. Okay, then we can collect the numerical data. Then using the pie chart, we can present it. That is the descriptive statistics. Okay, then collect the numerical data. Then we find out the mean value. You know the mean average value. Okay, that is the descriptive statistics. So then we can calculate the mode, median. Okay, then we can say something about the data set based on the mean value or the mode value or the median value. Okay, then presenting this data set through the pie chart or bar graph. Okay, line chart. Then these things we call as what? Descriptive statistics. Understood? This one. Okay, then this picture shows what is the descriptive statistic. Okay, then what is the goal of the descriptive statistic? Goal means objective. Okay, aim. What is it? Summarize and present the numerical data to obtain the useful information. Okay, in the descriptive statistic part, we collect the numerical data. Okay, then we summarize it. Okay, only that. This means what? Descriptive statistic. Clear? Okay, then basic things are included in the descriptive statistic part. Then we move into the inferential statistic. Okay, in the inferential statistic, first we take the sample. Okay, using the statistic. Okay, the statistic process we cannot handle with the population or the individuals. Okay, then think I going to do the study of the students in the subjects. Okay, then that we call that what? Population. Okay, all the students in the sub-campus we call that what? Population. Okay, I can study all the students in the sub-campus. Okay, then what can I do? Select the students. then select the 50 students from the whole students list. Okay, then we can conduct the study. Okay, in the inferential statistic, we take then first you identify what is the population. Okay, then we take the sample. Understood? Then this picture shows that in the population, we take the sample from the population, then study the sample of population. Sample. Okay, normally we can study only the sample. Okay, then we can collect the data. Okay, collect, organizing, presenting, analyzing, all those things we do to the sample data using the sample data. Okay, collect the data from the sample. Understood? Then study the sample. Okay, then finally we have the results. Based on the sample data, we have the result. Okay, then based on that result, what can we do? Make the effective decision about the what? Based on the sample data, then we can make the decisions about the population. Okay, then basically we cannot study the whole population and take the decisions about the population. Okay, there is a process. Then first we take the sample from the population, then study the sample. Okay, then we can calculate the mean value of the sample. Okay, understood? Then we can do the estimation things. Then those things we do the sample data. Then we do finally do the analysis part. Then based on the result, we can take the decisions about the what? Population. Okay. Then based on the sample data, we draw the conclusion about the what? Population. Understood? That we call as what? Inferential statistics. Okay. Then that's the definition. Statistical inference deals with methods of inferring or drawing conclusion about the characteristic of the population based upon the results of the sample taken from the same population. Okay, then here inferential statistic, what is the first step? Identify the relevant population, then we take the sample from the population, then we study the sample. Okay, then we have the results. Then based on the sample results, we can make the conclusion about the population. Understood? Okay. Then we move into the important concepts in the statistics section. Important concept means that these are the statistic related words. Okay, then the remaining session we study statistic related words. No. Okay, then this is the helpful. And the first one is population. Now you know population. Okay, then what is the meaning of the population? All the individuals, objects, or events on which we have to make some study. Okay, if you want to do the study, okay, then all the individuals which we have to make the study, then we call it as what? Population. Understood? Okay, then I want to do the study about the serving girls in the garment sector, okay, in Sri Lanka. Then all the serving girls in the Sri Lanka is my population. Understood? Okay, all the individuals. Then what is the meaning of the sample? Part of the population. Okay, then this picture shows that part. This is the population, all the individuals. Okay, then part of it we call as what? Sample. Understood? Okay. Then we are moving to the two characteristics in a statistic. Now you know population and the sample. Clear? Population means all the individuals in my study, in your study. Sample means part of the population. Okay. Then the other two things is, then these two words is the parameter and the statistic. Okay. Then we want to study about the characteristic of the population. Okay, we want to study about any characteristic of the population. That we call as what? Parameter. Okay, then I'm going to take the mean value for the population that we call as what? Parameter. Okay, I want to take the median value for the population that we call as what? Parameter. Okay, the characteristic of the population we call as parameter. Understood? Okay, then in the characteristic of the sample, we call as what? Statistic. Okay, not the statistic. Okay, statistic. Understood? Clear? Okay, then we want to study about the characteristic of the any characteristic of the population we call as parameter. Then we want to study about the sample characteristic we call as statistic. Okay, then we want to take the population mean value, population proportion, population median. Okay, then these things we call as what? Parameter. Okay, then if you want to calculate the sample mean, sample median, sample mode, those things we call as what? Statistic. Understood? Now you know what is the parameter and what is the statistic. When someone asks what is the parameter, you can say any characteristic of the population we call as parameter. A statistic means any characteristic of the sample. Okay? Then other point is population characteristic cannot be calculated based on in the inferential statistic. Okay, then I say normally we study about the sample. Based on the sample result, we can take the decisions about the population. Okay, in this, therefore, we cannot calculate the parameters. Means any characteristic of the population we cannot be calculated. Only we can be calculated, but sample statistic only. Okay, understood? Then cannot be calculated the population parameter. Okay, then how to get the value for the population parameter? Only we can calculate sample statistic value. We can calculate sample mean, sample median, sample proportion, those things. Okay, cannot be calculate the population parameter. Okay, then how to find the population parameter value? And we want to take the population mean value. It cannot be calculated. Why? Then all the individuals in my study, they using all the individuals of the study and calculate the population mean. Okay, then practically we can't. Okay, then therefore population parameter cannot be calculated, but can estimate it. You know the estimation? Word estimation. Okay, then population parameter can be estimated based on what? Sample statistic. But sample statistic can be calculated. Here we have the value for the sample statistic. Based on that, we can be estimated the population parameter. Understood? Okay. Then parameter and the statistic value are the constant or not. In the statistic, value of the statistic is not the constant value. May be different. In the sample mean, sample median, these are not constant values. Okay? But in the population parameter value, constant value. Understood? Okay? Then other thing is how to notate it. Then normally in the parameter value, okay, defined by using the Greek letters. Greek letters. Okay. Then using the Greek letters, we can define the population parameter. Okay. Then the population mean, we define by the mu. It's not the every mu. Okay, this one is the sigma that define the population standard deviation. Okay, in the sample statistic, normally we use the English letters. Simple English letters. Okay, then sample normally we denoted by the X bar. Okay, then the sample standard deviation, normally we use the simple S. Okay, you know the English alphabet now. Then these letters we use to define the sample statistic. Okay, the population parameter defined by using the Greek letters. Okay, now you know difference between the parameter and the statistic. Okay, parameter is a numerical measure that describes the characteristic of the entire population being studied. Okay, then population parameter cannot be calculated but can be estimated based on the statistic value. Okay, then parameter values are constant. Okay, then what are the features in the statistic? That is the numerical measure that describes the characteristic of the what? Sample. Okay, the statistic describes the characteristic of the sample. Okay, then statistic values are not constant. Okay, then other one is it can be calculated. Okay, clear? Another two thing is estimator and estimate. Okay, now you know the sample statistic now. Do you know the word of the sample statistic now? Yes or no? Okay, the sample statistic means any characteristic of any numerical measure of the characteristic of the sample. Then estimator means is the statistic. Then think, I want to take the population parameter. Then population mean value. Okay, then population mean cannot be calculated. Okay, then we use what? We will use the sample mean value. Okay, then sample mean is what? Estimated. Okay, then think, you want to calculate the population proportion. Proportion is percentage value. Normally we can say that there is a girl students, female students in here is 20%. That is the proportion percentage value. Okay, then if we want to calculate the population proportion, okay, then what is the estimated? Sample proportion. Understood? Then if we want to calculate the population variance, then what is the estimated? Sample variance. Understood? Okay, then estimator means statistic used to estimate the unknown population parameter. Okay, now we haven't any idea about the population parameter. Cannot be calculated. Okay, then only we use the sample statistic value to estimate the population parameter value. Okay, then we use the sample statistic that we call as what? Estimated. Okay, then another word is estimate. Estimate means value of the estimate. Then think, if you want to calculate the population mean, okay, then we use the sample mean as estimated. Okay, then we calculate the sample mean. Okay, then we got the value 12. Okay, then the value is there 12. 12 is the estimate. Understood? Okay, then if you want to calculate the population variance, okay, that is the unknown population parameter, then we use the sample variance. Then we calculate the sample variance. Okay, then we got the 5 is the sample variance. Then that the 5 is a number. That number we call as what? Estimate. Understood? Then this is the X bar is the estimator. Estimate is 15.7. Estimate is the S means standard deviation. Then the value 2.1 is the estimate. Understood? Clear? Okay. An estimate is the value which the estimator takes on a set of data. Value of the estimator we call as estimate. Okay. Then we move into the applications in the statistics. Okay. Then based on that, then think why we study the statistics. Okay. Then these are the reasons for that. These are the practical applications in the statistics. Understood? Then what is the first one? Business. Okay. Businessmen use the statistic. How to do that? How do they use the statistic? In the businessman or entrepreneur want to make the effective decisions. Okay, they want to make the quick decisions. Okay, then how to do that? They can use any statistical method to take the quick decisions. Okay, then think is a small businessman, then he or she want to get the value for the average annual sales. Okay, then how they do that? How they get that? Using the statistic technique. Okay, then using the statistic tool or technique, then he or she can get the what is the average annual sales. Understood? Then normally the businessman in the business field, then they estimate the value for the next 2-3 years. Okay, then they estimate what is the sales maybe in the next year and then after the next year. Okay, then they use to forecasting technique. Okay, then forecasting, then they can use this time series analysis to do the estimation. Okay, then this is the statistical tool. Understood? Then this is the first application in the statistic in the business field. Understood? Okay. Then the next one is what? Economic. Okay, all of you studied the economic. You will study in the economic subject now. Okay, in the economic subject, you calculated the value for the GDP, national income. Yes or no? Okay, then which method used to calculate those things? Statistics. Okay, understood? Then they use different kind of statistical technique to calculate the GDP value. Okay, then the real income and the national income, then those things. They use the different kind of statistic technique. In the statistics subject, there is a part of the index numbers. Okay, then using the index numbers in the economic field, then they find out the which one is the price index, consumer price index. Remember, then these kind of things calculate using the statistic technique. Understood? Okay. In the other one is banking sector. Then how they use the statistic? How they use the statistic technique? Think and tell. Banking sector. No need to statistic technique. Oh yes. How they use? Then we go to the bank and deposit money to our savings account. Okay. Then based on that value, then amount, then bank what they do using the deposit amount. used to make the profit. Okay, then those kind of things. Okay, then before doing this, they make the profit based on the deposit money. They want to use the probability concept, identify, then estimate the number of depositors are withdrawn deposits. Okay, probability values. Probability, do you know about the probability value? Some kind of ideas you have no probability. Okay, then these kind of concepts they use the in the banking sector. Understood? Okay, then they calculate the average loan amount. Okay, then their interest amount. There are so many calculations now. Then in that field they use the statistical technique. Okay, in the administration, you know the administration how they use. Administration, how they use the statistics. The government make the decisions based on the statistic technique. Okay, if they want to increase the salary of the employees based on the living cost. Okay, then they identify how it increase. Okay, then according to their living cost. Okay, then they can use the index number. Okay, they can use the forecasting technique. Okay, then those kind of techniques are from the statistic subject. Okay, then another one is accounting and auditing. And how to use the statistic in the accounting and auditing. Do you work in the audit firm? It's no. Then how use the statistic in the auditing? Yes. Auditing, you check all the accounts. There's always in the auditing field, we take a sample. Based on the sample, we make a decision. Okay, then what is the concept behind that? Statistic, inferential statistic. Understood? Okay. Then another one is natural and the social sciences. In science, biochemistry, physics. Okay, in your school time, you do the different kind of experiments. Okay, then always we take the sample and check. Okay, then in this all the field they use the statistic technique. Understood? Okay. Then we are moving to the next limitations of the statistic. Okay. The statistic is not the 100% important, accurate. Okay, that's the first limitation. In the statistic, always we take the decisions with the what? Uncertainty. Every time we cannot get the decisions with the certainty. Okay. Then another one is in the statistic, do not deal with the individual's value. Okay, we do not consider about the values individually. Okay, understood? Then other one is statistical conclusions are not universally true. You know, not here all. Okay, then some kind of conclusions are not the universally true. Okay, then other one is, then the main thing is other one, statistically always use which kind of data? Numerical data. Okay, then statistics do not use qualitative type of data. Okay, at some time, qualitative data represent a very important thing for the particular study. But in the statistics, do not consider about the qualitative data. Always take what? Numerical data and make the decision. Okay, do not consider about the any qualitative data. Okay, another one is statistical interpretation requires high degree of skills and understanding of the subject. Okay, then using the any statistical software, okay, SPSS or Python or any statistical software, then feed the data set and we will take the output. Okay, there are so many numbers, but we cannot understand easily. Okay, then we have high degree of skills to read the data set, read the output. Understood? Okay, then statistical interpretation requires the high degree of skills and the understanding of the subject. Okay, then every people cannot be easily cannot be understand the statistical output, statistical interpretation. Okay, then we have the knowledge about the subject. Then we can understand what they do. Understood? Another one is statistic can be misused. Sometimes statistic technique they use to misuse. Then we use the graphical method to present the data. Okay, in some time they use in the wrong picture from this through this pie chart or bar graph or line chart. Okay, there's only picture. There's a graph. There's no any values and the data set behind. Okay, then this kind of statistical technique can be misused. Understood? Clear? Okay, then that is the overview of the statistics. Chapter 1. Okay, then the summary of that session number 1. What is the statistic? Okay. Then statistic is a process collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing and interpreting of the numerical data. Finally, we can make the effective decisions with the uncertainty. That is the definition of the statistic. That is the meaning of the statistic. Okay, then statistic can be divided into the two categories. What are they? Descriptive and the inferential. Okay, descriptive statistic means what? Using the basic statistic techniques and tools to collect, organize, present, and analyzing the data. Okay, then we do the basic techniques and tools in the descriptive statistics. Okay, in the inferential statistics, what is the main thing? Identify the suitable population. Then we take the sample from the population. Then we study the sample and based on the results of the sample, we can draw the conclusion about the population. Okay, then we move into the important concepts. Okay, then first we will study parameter and the statistic. Okay, then any characteristic of the population we call as parameter. Okay, then we say parameter value cannot be calculated, only can be estimated based on the statistic value. Okay, and the parameter values are not constant. Okay, then the statistic means what? Any characteristic of the sample. Then the sample statistic value can be calculated and these are not constant. Okay, then we move into the estimate and the estimate. Estimate and the estimate. Estimate means what? Relevant sample statistic. Okay, to use to find out the unknown population parameter. The appropriate sample statistic. Then if we want to calculate the population mean, what is the appropriate sample statistic? Sample mean. Then the sample mean is the estimated. Value of the sample mean we call as estimate. Okay. Then we study what? what context, estimate and estimate, then the limitations and the what are the applications in the statistic. Okay. Now you have any idea about the statistic? Sure. What is the meaning of the statistic? What are the types of? What are the limitations? Okay. Then I will give the small activity. Do that one. Question number 1 was determine whether the number described is a parameter or text. Okay, then these are some numbers. Present is 4 statements. Okay, then you want to write it out. Is it a parameter or the statistic? Is it a characteristic of population or is it a characteristic of the sample? Then hurry up to the question number 1. Finish. Then in a recent survey of college graduates, 68% of those who responded say they had more than $50,000 in the student loan. Is it a parameter or statistic? statistic or the parameter. Here, population is the college graduates. Okay. Then what the respondents are? 68%. Okay. Then 68% of the respondent represent the sample. Okay. Then that gives what? They had more than $50,000 in the student's loan. In here, what is the value number? It's a $50,000. It represents what? Statistic or the parameter? Statistic. Understood? Not the parameter. Okay, then this one says no. In the recent survey of college graduates, then college graduates are the population. It's true. But 68% of those who responded say they had more than $50,000 in the students. Okay, then 68% of the student means part of the population. That we call as sample. Okay, in the $50,000 means sample data. Understood? Then it represents what? Statistic. Understood? Okay. B. The average age of the employees working at XYZ company is 37 years. Population, sorry, not the population, parameter or statistic. The average age of the employees working at XYZ company. Parameter. Then it represents the whole population, all the employees in the XYZ company. Then let's see the average GPA of 250 randomly selected students at ABC University is 2.73. The number is 2.73. It represents statistic or the parameter. Statistic. Why? There is an average GPA of 250 randomly selected students. That's the part of it. Not the whole students in the ABC University. Understood? Okay. Then find the key of the students attending the Mercer Country Community College in 2018. 66% were part-time students. It's a parameter or the statistic. And 66% means proportion value. No? Okay. Then I told the proportion means what? Percentage value. Okay, then the part-time students percentage value is 66%. That is what? Population proportion. Okay, then it is a parameter or statistic. Parameter. Then here, students attending the Mercer Country Community College in 2018, 66% were part-time students. Here, remaining are full-time students. Understood? That represents the population characteristic. Then we call that parameter. Understood? Okay. Then move into the picture number 2. So the To determine the average GPA of the 500 students who just finished their first year in college, a group of 60 students is randomly selected. It is determined that the average GPA is 2.85. Part A asks, what is the population for this study? What is the population? All the students who just finished their first year. Okay, then what is the population size? 500. Okay, then what constitutes the sample? 60 students. Okay, then based on the sample, what is the statistic for the average GPA of the population? 2.85. That is the sample statistic. Understood? Okay. Okay, now we take a break and continue the next session. Okay. This is section number 2. Okay. Types of data and the measurement scale. Okay. Then these are the objectives. Okay. Then to introduce the numerical and categorical variables, 4 levels of measurements, then the 2 types of data sources, and what are the methods of collecting data and how to prepare the questionnaire. And these are the learning outcomes. Means then end of the sessions, you should be able to explain those things. Okay, you have enough idea about it. First, moving to the concepts. Okay, first one is variable. Then variable means what? Any measurable characteristic or attribute that differs for different subjects. Variable means what? Any measurable characteristic or attribute. Okay, then your weight can be measured numerically. That is the what? Variable. Okay, your height is a variable. Okay, then your gender variable is a characteristic. Okay, then the variable means measurable characteristic or attribute. Just to clear. Okay. Then these variables can be divided into 2 categories. Okay, now you know. First one is what? Quantitative. Okay, quantitative means what? Quantitative means can be measured as numerical. Okay. Then a variable that consists of count or numerical measurement of characteristic of objects, people, or events. Okay, then your weight or your height is a quantitative variable. Then your gender, is it a quantitative or not? Quantitative. Then the gender can be measured as numerical. Okay, gender is a variable, it's true. Okay, then we can say female or male. Okay, then cannot be measured as numerically, then we cannot take that as a quantitative variable. Examination marks, weight, height. Okay. Then qualitative means what? These variables cannot be measured as numerical. Okay, then those qualitative variables do not deal with the numbers. Gender, marital status, okay, then favorite color. Okay, then these we call as qualitative variables. Okay. Then quantitative variable deal with the numbers. Okay, then quantitative variable can be measured as numerical. Then those quantitative variables divided into the two categories. Okay, then first looking at is it a variable? Okay, then again. Then we looking at is it a quantitative or qualitative? Okay, then it's a quantitative. Then we looking at is it a discrete or continuous? Understood? Then what is meaning of the discrete? A variable that can assume only certain clearly separated values. Okay, take number of students in this class. Okay, and how to get the value? How to tell the answer for that? How many students in this class? 11 students. Okay, we can specifically say 11 students. Okay, then number of children in a family. You can exactly say 4, 3, 2. Okay, then we can, any variable can express using the certain clearly separated values. We call it as what? Discrete variable. Understood? There's no any decimal places. Okay, number of children in a family, number of students in a class. Okay, number of people in a country or city. Okay, number of vehicles in a car park. Okay, then these are the examples for the discrete variables. Okay, always it expresses the clearly separated values. Then continuous means variables that have theoretically an infinite number of gradations between two measurements. It means then weight is a variable and we can be measured as numerical. Okay, therefore it can be a quantitative variable. Okay, then weight. Then someone says 40 kilo. Someone says 40.5 kilo. Okay, someone says 42.3 kilo. Okay, there is a gradation between two values. Understood? Not the always not take the exact clearly separated values. Understood? Then weight, height. Okay, then these are the examples for the continuous variable. Okay, in the discrete variable, there is a special feature, clearly separated value. Number of pages in a book. Okay, we can say 80 pages, 120 pages, exactly page, the number. Okay, in the continuous variable, there is an infinite number of gradations between two measurements. Understood? Okay, then tell me, color size is a discrete or continuous? Color size. Color size. Do you know the color size? 14, 14 and a half, 15, 15.5. Is there? Then always there is a clearly separated value. Okay, then color size is a discrete or continuous? Discrete. And we take as a continuous. Why? There is no can get no. There is no any value. Any value we cannot get. No. Then 14.2, 14.3. There is no any color size. No. Then exactly 14, 14 and a half, 15 or 15 and a half. Okay, always it represents the clearly separated values. Understood? Okay, it is discrete and continuous. Now clear, variable is any measurable characteristic or attribute. Okay, then these variables divided by two categories, quantitative and the qualitative. quantitative means what? Variable which can be measured as numerically, we call as quantitative. Okay, then variable which cannot be measured as numerically, we call as qualitative. Okay, then quantitative variable can be divided further. What are the two types of quantitative variable? Discrete and the continuous. Okay, values of the variable, based on that we can decide is it discrete or continuous. Okay, then discrete variable always represent the clearly separated value. Okay, in the continuous one, there is a theoretically infinite gradation between two measurements. Infinite gradation. Okay, can get any value in between two measures, 40 to 50. Then wait, 40 to 50. There is, we can get any value of 40.15, 40.14. Okay, it means theoretically infinite gradation between two measures. Understood? Okay. Then other important thing is level of measure. Okay, this concept, this one is very important. Okay, do the research. Okay, and if we want to do the research, then we feed the data with software. Okay, then before do the analysis part, okay, the level of measurement is very important. In the research, then you have the data set. Okay, then you have the variables, independent and the dependent. Okay, then before do the further analysis, before conduct the regression analysis or things, normally we do the regression analysis now. Then before do that one, we identify each variables are consist with which level of measurement. Okay, this concept is very important. Then level of measurement, then there are 4 levels of measurements recommended. Okay, then there are 4 levels of measurement. These levels of measurement describe the characteristic of the variable. Okay, then you know the variables, different kind of variables are there. Okay, then the characteristic of variable represent this level of measurement. Describe that it means level of measurement describe the characteristic of the variable. Okay, then how much information the numbers associated with the variable contain. That is the meaning of the level of measurement. How much information the numbers associated with the variable contain. Okay, then mathematical operations depends on the levels. Then these are the 4 levels of measure. In here, nominal, ordinal, interval, and the ratio. Okay, normally in the SPSS software, the software is identify only 3: nominal, ordinal, and the ratio. Interval and the ratio together. Okay, nominal, ordinal, ratio. Understood? And basically there are 4 levels of measurements are there. Understood? Nominal, ordinal, interval, and the ratio. Okay, then we do one by one. First one is nominal level of measurement. It's the basic one. Okay, nominal level of measurement means then this kind of variable only can be labeled. Then think, then gender is a variable. That's a qualitative variable. Okay, then what are the responses? Gender, what are the categories in the gender? Male and the female. Okay, then we can take the how many female students and how many male students. Only. Okay, only label it. Or we can get the count of each category. How many female students are there? How many male students are there? Okay, in the nominal level of measurements variable cannot be deal with any other operations. Only we can do label it and take the count of each category. Understood? Then we identify the students female or male. Okay, then we can get the count. How many female and how many male. Okay, we cannot do the further analysis. We cannot take the mean value, median value. Normally we cannot get them. Only we can identify this person is a male or female and we can get the count of each category. Understood? Okay. In the nominal level of measurements, do you know the mathematical operations? The mathematics subject. Normally the mathematics. Then we use what are the mathematical operations? Mathematical operations. Addition, subtractions, multiplications, divisions. Okay, in the equation there's this equal sign, not equal sign, those things, greater than, less than. Then these are the mathematical operations. Okay, in the nominal level of measurements, only we use equal and the not equal. Okay, if this person is a male or female, equal or nothing. Okay, we cannot apply the addition, subtractions, division, multiplication, greater than, less than, those kind of mathematical approach. I understood. Okay, nominal level measurement, it only can be labeled it. Okay, and get the count of each category. Okay, then which mathematical operations can be used? Equal and not equal. Okay. The designation of an observation with a value which is merely named or labeled. Okay, quickly you understand. Nominal level of measurements can be labeled. Okay, then can we take the count of each category? That enough. Okay. Then the only comparison that can be made between variable values are equality and inequality. Okay. Then these are the examples: gender, marital status. Okay, then these are the examples of the nominal level measurements variable. Okay, then marital status, then we identify if this person is a married person or single only. Then we can take the count. How many married persons are there? How many single persons are there? Okay, we cannot do the further analysis. We cannot apply the other mathematical operations for it. Understood? It's clear, nominal level, okay? Then move into the second one, ordinal. Okay? Ordinal means then in word is here, ordinal. What is the meaning here? These ordinal scale measurements can be ordered. It can be arranged. Understood? In the ordinal level of measurements have all the features of the nominal scale. Okay, these ordinal level measurements variables have all the features of the nominal scale. What are the features in the nominal scale? Label it, take the count of each category, and using the equal and the not equal. These three features have consist in the ordinal level of measurement. Understood? Okay, then what is the special characteristic of the ordinal? We can order things. Then think level of education. Okay, and question is, what is your level of education? Some says complete the bachelor degree. Okay, some says complete the master degree. Some says PhD. Okay, then we can collect the data and rank the persons according to their education level. Can or can't? Okay, then that kind of variables we call as what? Ordinal level measurements variable. Understood? Okay, then school grades, seniority level, okay, junior, senior. Okay, then always we looking at the variable, it can be ordered, ranked, then it is belong to the ordinal scale measurement. Understood? Then what are the mathematical operations can be used in the ordinal level? Equal or not equal? Okay, okay, that is the feature in the nominal scale. Okay, then equal or not equal is can. Then other one is what? Yeah, then which mathematical operation used to grant it? Greater than or less than? Okay, remember the greater than and less than sign? Okay, then we can using the greater than and less than grant it. Okay, in the nominal level of measurements, only we can use equal and the not equal. Ordinal scale variables can be used equal and not equal and the greater than or less than. Understood? Okay. Then moving to the third category, interval measurement. Okay. In the interval measurements, have all the features of the ordinal. And then these are the continuations is there. Okay. Then interval scale variables have all the features of the ordinal. What are the ordinal features? Can be labeled, can be ordered. Okay. Then we can use the equal or not equal. Then greater than or less than. And then these four features are included in the interval scale. Okay. Then difference between arbitrary pairs of numbers can be meaningfully compared. It's a special feature in the ratio interval scale. It means we can apply the addition or subtraction to the interval scale variables that answer is meaningful. Okay, the date is the interval scale variable. Okay, then your birthday is a date. Okay, then I will ask your birthday. Okay, then using your birthday, I can calculate your age as at today's date. Can you find how to do that? How to get the age? Today's date minus your birthday. Okay, then which mathematical operation use? Subtraction. Okay, understood? Then we apply the subtraction to this, then the answer is meaningful. Clear? Okay? Then this one represents difference between the arbitrary pairs of numbers can be meaningfully compared. Okay? It means in the interval scale variables can be applied addition or subtraction. Okay? Then other main feature in the interval scale, do you know about the zero? Do you know the zero? Okay. Normally what does mean? Zero. Normally what does mean zero? Yeah, what does mean the zero? See, then this classroom is there's no any students. Okay, the number of students in the level 3, lecture hall number 3, we put the 0. Then it means what? No any students. Normally 0 means that one. Okay, but in the interval level scale measurements variable, it does not mean the nothing. Okay, then the temperature. Okay, then the 0 means what? Temperature is 0 Celsius or Fahrenheit. It means no temperature. Okay, there is a temperature. Okay, understood? In the interval scale measurement, 0 not defined nothing. Understood? Okay, clear? Good. Okay, then the interval scale measurement, then all the features have the ordinal level. Then other one is, then we can apply the equal, not equal, greater than or less than, addition or subtraction. Okay, then these are the examples: temperature, date of birth. Okay, then the limited of variables are falling into this category, interval level measurement. Okay, very limited examples for this. Understood? Okay. The last level of measurement is ratio. Okay, the ratio variable contains all the features of the interval scale. Okay, but except the 0. ratio scale variable 0 means what? Nothing. Okay. Then we can label it. We can order them. Okay. We can take the difference between two values. That is meaningful one. Okay. Then we can apply the equal or not equal. We can apply the greater than or less than. We can apply the addition or subtraction. Okay. Then what is the another mathematical operations? The remaining one. The remaining one. What is the remaining mathematical operation? Equal or not equal? Greater than or less than? Addition or subtraction? What is another one? Multiplication and division. These all the mathematical operations can be applied to the ratio scale variables. Understood? Can we label it? Can we order them? Okay. Then can we take the differences? Okay. Add them values of the variables. We can multiply. We can divide. All the mathematical operations can be applied to this ratio scale variable. Understood? Marks of the students. Okay, then we can collect the marks of each student and I can calculate the average marks for the particular subject. Can you find? Okay, how to do that? Add all the marks together, then divided by number of students. Okay, then we can get the average mark for the business statistics subject. Understood? Then we can apply any mathematical operations to the ratio scale variables. Okay, understood? Then weight, height, okay, then monthly income, monthly expenditure. Understood? Then those things are falling into the ratio scale category. Understood? Okay, then what is the first one? Nominal level measurement. Okay, nominal level measurement means what? Only can be labeled it. Okay, cannot do any further analysis. Only label it. Only get the count of each category. Okay, then which mathematical operations can be used? Equal and not equal. Okay, then what are the examples? Nominal scale, what are the examples? Gender, marital status, okay, then your favorite color, your hobbies, all those are nominal scale variables. The second one is what? Ordinal. Okay, in ordinal, what are the features? We can label it. We can take the count of each category. We can apply equal or not equal. Yeah, all the features in the nominal scale. Then what are the special features? We can rank them. We can order them. Okay, then we can apply the greater than or less than sign. What are the examples? Ordinal variable. What are the examples? Education level, seniority level. Okay, grades in the school, grades, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. You can order them. Okay, then the third one, interval. Okay, interval one, then we can label it. We can take the count of each category. We can rank them. We can apply equal and not equal, greater than or less than. All the features in the ordinal scale. What are the special features here? In the interval scale, 0 does not mean nothing. Okay. The another one is we can take the differences between two measurements. It represents the meaningful information. Okay. Then what are the examples? Temperature, date of birth. Understood? Okay. The best example is a temperature. It's 0. That is giving me the temperature. Okay. Then the last one is ratio scale measurement. in the interval scale are included in the ratio scale. We can table it, we can rank them, we can take the count. Okay, then we can take the difference between the two measurements that represent the meaningful information. Okay, then we can apply the equal, not equal, greater than, no less than, addition or subtraction. What are the special features in the ratio scale? Can apply the multiplication and the division. Okay, then mark, weight, height, income level, expenditure, all those are falling into the ratios. Understood? Other thing is, then the level of measurement depends on the nature of the question. Okay, then think. Someone asked, normally you know the questionnaire. You see that the questionnaire, no? Normally, in the questionnaire asks, what is your age? Then give the blank to provide the answer. Okay, then in that situation, then age is falling into which category? Age, nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio? Your age. Age. And what are the answers? Can be taken. 20 or 30 or 31 or 32 or 21 or 22. The answer is a number. Okay, then which level of measurement? Age. Select the age of all the respondents, then I can calculate the average age. Can or can't? Then we can add them together and divide. Then which mathematical operations? Not which mathematical operation, which level of measurements? Ratio. Okay. Then other questionnaire asks, what is your age? Then it suggests 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Okay, you have to tick. Okay. Then age is which level of measurement? Then you want to select the which category. Then is it a ratio or not? Ratio or not? Now, then collect the data. You have only categories now. Then you have the categories. Okay, then you collect the data. Now you haven't any individual values now. Okay, then this cannot be a ratio scale. Then it's a nominal, ordinal, or interval. Ordinal. Okay, we can label it and we can order it. Understood? Is it clear? Okay, then the question type. Okay, then the question asks the opening questions. They normally ask what is your age, what is your monthly income. Okay, then these kind of questions you have the values now, individuals values. Then it falls into the ratio scale. But these questions ask and suggest the response. They think what your age category or your monthly income. Normally monthly income type of question ask. They suggest the category is no response. Okay, normally we do not ask directly what is your monthly income. Okay, then they suggest less than 100,000, 100,000 to 150,000. There's a range. Okay, in the questionnaire they have the range, then it's falling into the ordinal scale. Okay, then question asks directly what is your monthly income, what is your monthly expenditure, what is your age, and give the blank. Then I have to collect individual observations. Okay, then it is falling into the ordinal scale. Okay. Understood? Clear? Okay. And these are the 4 levels of measure. Then other types of variable is independent and the dependent. And normally in the final year research, Okay, then we develop the conceptual framework. First, we identify what are the independent variable and the dependent variable in my step. Okay, then we move into the what is the independent and the dependent. Independent variable manipulated by the experiment. It means independent variable does not depend on the other variable. Okay, understood? Independent variable means variable does not depend on the other variable. Okay, it's explained by the manipulated by the experiment. But dependent variable depends on the other variable. Okay, then think in the business field that they identify the relationship between the advertising expenditure and their monthly sales income. Okay, these two variables are related: advertising expenditure and their monthly sales income. Okay, in here, what is the independent? What is the manipulated by the experiment? Independent one. It does not depend on the other. Advertising expenditure. Okay, then first we focus on the advertising expenditure. Based on that, change in the monthly sales. Understood? Then monthly sales is a dependent variable. It depends on the advertising expenditure. And understood? Advertising expenditure does not depend on the monthly sales. Clear? Monthly sales and the advertising expenditure. Okay, then that is the dependent variable and the independent variable. Okay, then this example, test scores impacted by the amount of time spent sleeping the night before the test. Okay, time sleeping and the test mark. Okay, then these are the dependent and the independent variables. Okay, then what are the examples we can give? These. And monthly change. Okay. Take some examples for the dependent and the independent. Lifetime of the vehicle and the current selling price of the vehicle. Okay, there's a relationship. No? Then which one is the independent and which one is the dependent? Lifetime of the vehicle is a dependent or independent? Independent. Okay, then based on that, we can identify selling price of that vehicle. Understood? Then independent variable manipulated by the experiment does not depend on the other variables. Okay, then dependent variable depends on the other variable. Clear? Independent and the dependent. Okay, then think quality of the service in the service provider and the customer satisfaction. Okay, then what is the independent one? Quality of the service provider. Okay, then what is the dependent variable? Customer satisfaction. Okay, so the customer satisfaction based on the quality level of the service provider. Understood? Now you can knowledge about identify the what is the dependent one and independent one. Okay. Before moving to the next one, now you know the variables. Okay, then we study two types of variables. What are they? Then two types: quantitative and the qualitative. First, we identify is it a variable? Variable means any characteristic of the attribute. Okay, then any measurable characteristic we call as variable. Then we looking at it can be measured as numerically or not. Okay, then if it can be measured as numerically, we say it is a quantitative. It cannot be measured as numerically, we can say qualitative. Okay, then quantitative, then think this variable can be measured as numerically, then we can divide it into the two categories. What are they? Discrete and continuous. Okay, quantitative variables can be divided into the discrete or continuous. In the discrete variable means what? It represents always values which are clearly separated values. Okay, the number of students in a class, number of children in a family, okay, number of vehicles in a car park. Okay, always that gives the clearly separated values. Okay, in the continuous variable, it is not given the clearly separated value. It is an infinite gradation between two measures. Okay, weight, height, those things. Okay, then we move into the what? Discrete and continuous. Then we move into the levels of measurements. 4 levels of measurement: nominal, ordinal, interval, and the ratio. Okay, nominal one is the simplest level of measurement. Only can be label it and take the count of each category. They only apply equal and not equal to the nominal scale variables. Okay, then the ordinal one, we can order them, we can name it, we can label it, we can apply the equal or not equal, greater than or less than. Then we move into the interval scale. The interval scale variable have all the features of the ordinal scale. We can label it, we can order them, we can apply equal or not equal, we can apply the greater than or less than. Then special one is we can do the addition and the subtraction. We take the difference between two values of the measurement. It gives the meaningful information. Okay. In the ratio scale variable, have all the features of the interval scale. We can label it, we can order them, we can apply equal or not equal, we can apply greater than or less than, addition or subtraction, and the multiplication and the division. All the mathematical operations can be applied to the ratio scale variable. Understood? Okay. Then we move into the independent and dependent variable. Independent variable always manipulated by the experimenter in the experiment. Okay. In the independent variable, does not depend on the other variable. Dependent variable always depends on the other variable. Okay. Then example, sales value and the advertising expenditure. Then based on the advertising expenditure, change in the sales revenue. Okay. Then therefore, we can identify advertising expenditure is an independent variable, sales revenue is a dependent variable. Understood? Okay. Variable is concept is okay. Then we move into the data. Data is a very important thing in the statistics subject. Okay, then what is the input in the statistic process? Data. Okay. Then these kind of data can be divided into the two categories: primary data and the secondary data. Okay. Then primary data means that primary data which are collected for the first time. Okay. Then if you want to conduct the study, then we will collect the data according to the study. That data set we called as primary data. Okay, take the previous example, then I want to do the study in the students in the campus. Okay, then I will prepare the questionnaire, distribute the students and collect the information. Then collect the data, then that kind of data we call as primary data. Okay, all those data collected for the first time. Okay, understood? Then it's an original in character. There is original in the first time I will collect. Okay, primary data. But in the secondary data means already collected by someone for subject. Okay, you study economic, then you refer the central bank report and take the data. Then this data is primary or secondary? Secondary. Okay, then that data already collected by the central bank for their purpose. Okay, then we refer that. That is the secondary data. And then secondary data already collected by some purpose or by some purpose. Understood? Then their purpose is different with our purpose. Okay? Understood? Then the available for the present study. Secondary data normally available for the present study. We refer the book, journal, magazine, okay, newspaper, website. Then those data we call as what? Secondary data. We collect the data for the, if we collect the data for the first time, that we call as primary data. Understood? Normally, then if we want to do the research, we can collect the primary data and we can use the secondary data to our study. Okay? Then secondary data is already collected data. Then we can refer the relevant book or magazine or website to collect the data. Okay? But in the primary data, we want to collect the first time. Okay, then we need to identify how to collect the primary data. Okay, then these are the methods of collecting primary data. First one is questionnaire. Do you know the questionnaire? Okay, questionnaire means consists of the question. Okay, then we can prepare the questionnaire and give to our respondent and collect the data. Okay, then questionnaire. We can mail it. We can use in the Google form. Okay, then these are different kinds of questions. Okay, then using the questionnaire, we can collect the data. Understood? Then another one is what? Interviews. Okay, then we can meet the people, we can meet the respondents and collect the information from them directly. Okay, we can use the telephone conversation, or we can directly go to there and meet them and discuss. Okay, in the interviews there is some structured interviews and some unstructured interviews. Structured interview means then before starting the collecting process, we will prepare the guide. Okay, to our reference, not the respondent. Okay, to our reference, we will make the guidance. Okay, then what are the questions I will ask from there? Okay, there is a structure that we call as structured interview. Okay, unstructured interview means there is no structure. Okay, then we will go to the particular area or place. Then we meet the people and discuss with them, get their idea. Okay, there is no any structure. Okay, then this kind of interviews we call as unstructured interviews. Okay, then other one is direct personal observation. Okay, then we do not use the questionnaire and we do not use the interviews method. Okay, we do not conduct the discussion with the respondents. We observe them. We observe them and collecting the data. Okay, then say the personal behaviors. Normally, we want to do the study about the person's behavior. Those kinds of study, normally they use the observation. Okay, then we observe them and collecting the data. Okay, we do not discuss with them and we do not use the question. Understood? Then these are the some methods of the collecting primary data. We can use the questionnaire, we can conduct interviews, or we can do the observations and collect the primary data. Understood? Then these are the types of questions in the questionnaire. Then first method, we use the questionnaire. Okay, then normally in the questionnaire, we can include different types of questions. Okay. First one is simple alternate questions. Normally the questionnaire consists yes no questions. Okay, you want to tick or put the prompts. Okay, yes no question. This kind of questions we call as simple alternate questions. Or we can say yes no question. Okay. Then other one is, and these are the examples. Are you feminist? Normally we give the answer yes or no. Okay. Then are you perfectionist? Yes or no? Okay. Then answers may be a yes or no. Then other one is multiple choice questions. There is a question and they suggest more than 2 answers. Okay, then no. But you will give only one answer for selecting the choice. Then this one is, what is your preferred payment method? Credit card, debit card, PayPal. Okay, that we call as what? Multiple choice question. Okay. Then ranking order questions. Some questions ask rank the answers. Okay. Rank the following in order of preference. This question asks the question asks rank the following in order of preference. Okay, then there's some sports: football, rugby, cricket, boxing. Okay, then we put the 1, 2, 3, 4 according to our preference. Understood? Then Likert scale questions. Likert scale questions, normally we write the statement or questions, then we suggest Likert scale. Strongly agree, okay? Then neutral, strongly disagree, dissent. Okay, then that kind of questions we call as Likert scale. Okay, some are 5 Likert scale, some are 7 Likert scale. Understood? Then the other one is open-end question. Only ask the questions and give the space to provide the answers. Okay. Then this one is, please describe your experience in a couple of sentences. Okay. Then some questionnaire ask your comments. No? Okay. Then they give the blank to provide the answers. Only give the questions. Yeah, you can freely write the answers for that particular questions. Understood? No any suggestions. Clear? Okay. Then now you know the questionnaire. Okay. Then what are the types of questionnaires included in the questionnaire? Clear? Then we move into the framing the question. Then we move into how to prepare the question. Okay. Then these are the things we want to consider about to prepare in the question. The first one is attractive layout. Layout of the questionnaire must be attractive, clear. Okay. The next one is simple wording, brief and specific. Always we use the simple words to prepare in the question. Simple words. What is your age? What is your preference payment method? Then we always use the simple word. Okay, always write the short question. Brief. Okay. Then logically arrangement. Then the arrangement. Then you know there are different types of questions we can be included in the questionnaire. Okay, normally first we ask yes no question, simple alternate questions. Then we move into the multiple choice question. Then we can insert the ranking order questions, Likert scale question. Finally, we can include the open-end questions. There is a logical arrangement. Okay, understood? Then other way, we can first ask the demographic factors question. your gender, your age, okay, where are you from, demographic factors. Then you can ask the questions according to your state. Understood? Always must have the logical arrangement. Okay. Then necessary instruction. In the questionnaire, normally we should provide the necessary instruction. How to answer this question. Okay. Understood? Then you want to, they normally in the examination paper, okay, beginning of the questions, then the first page including the instructions. Okay, then that is same as in the question. First, you should provide the instructions how to answer this question. Okay. Then avoiding personal or sensitive questions. Normally, we do not ask the personal or sensitive questions through this questionnaire. Okay, normally we do not ask what is your monthly income. Okay, if you want to collect the data about the monthly income, then you suggest less than 100,000, 100,000 to 150,000. And normally we do not ask the personal question, sensitive question. Understood? Then pre-testing the question. Normally we will we finish to prepare the questionnaire. Okay, then before distributing the respondents, okay, then we share this questionnaire with our friends or some sample, then collect the data and identify if there are any issues in the question. Okay, then we prepared the questionnaire, then we distribute to the 10 people to answer them, then we collect the data, then we can identify any issues are there. Okay, wrong questions are there. Some questions are there. The respondents didn't give the answers for this kind of questions. Then we can identify. Okay, then we can correct them and finally we can distribute all other sample to answer the question. Okay, normally we conduct a pre-testing. Clear? Then these are the some points we consider about to prepare in the questionnaire. Okay. Then other one is the beginning part or end part. We write why we do this study. Okay, why we prepare this questionnaire. Okay, who am I? Okay, what is the purpose of this? Normally we describe is using one paragraph. Then starting the question. Okay, understood? Then you know the secondary data. Now you know secondary data means already collected by some person, maybe some person. Secondary data, be careful. Right, for this. First we check whether availability. Okay, then first we decide to do the study. Then we check whether these kind of data are available or not. Okay, then we look at it. Then where can we find out this kind of data? Check whether the availability. The next one is think available. These data are available. Okay, then we check whether suitability. These available data, okay, suit with our purpose or not. Okay, data are available. Then we check whether these available data are suit with our purpose. It's appropriate to our study. Okay. Then adequacy. Then the suitability is okay. Then we check whether adequacy. That data is enough or not. Adequate means that one. We check whether the data is available. This then available data are appropriate to our study. Then we check whether this data set is adequate or not. That is enough to conduct my study or not. Then I think adequacy is okay. Then we check whether what? Reliability. then these informations are accurate or not. How they collect that data? How did they collect this data? Okay, did they use correct method to collect this data? Okay, then we check whether the reliability. These 4 points are okay, then we can use the secondary data to our study. Understood? Okay, then these sessions we studied variables and the data. Okay, then data, 2 types of data, primary and the secondary. Primary data normally we collected for the first time. Okay, secondary data already collected. Okay, then primary data we collected for the first time. Therefore, we want to identify which method we can use to collect the primary data. Okay, then we can use the questionnaire, we can use the interview, conduct interview, or we can conduct the observations. We can do the observation. Okay, then we using the questionnaire method, we can, when we want to prepare in the questionnaire, then we must consider about the layout. Okay, then always should we maintain the logical arrangement. Okay, do not ask the personal or sensitive questions. Okay, those things. Then we can include the different kind of questions to the questionnaire. The simple alternative questions, multiple choice questions, open-ended questions, those things. Okay, then we want to get the secondary data to our study, then careful to these 4 concepts. First, we check whether these data are available or not. Okay, then the thing, if the data is available, then we check whether these are appropriate to my study or not. Then we check whether these are enough or not. Then finally we check whether reliability. We check whether these data are collected through this correct collection method. Okay, why they are collecting this data? Okay, we check whether the accuracy of the data. Okay, then this is the second session. We define the variables, we identify the types of variables and the level of measurements. Finally, we discuss what are the types of data and how to collect the primary data. Understood?